Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, the 20-something, 28th. Can't believe August is right around the corner.
Ooh,
I know, right? Where'd the summer go? Um, yeah, my daughter needs to start working with the financial aid office at UW-Madison to figure out what's going on with that. Um, Alan and I were talking earnings. I've started developing what they call a blog on the FTM stock trading website. Basically just giving me the opportunity to track these. So like I can say this puts, this calls, and then save what the app is doing. And speaking of the app, we may need to change the name. I think, and I think Alan thinks, is what makes this app more powerful is the ability to track any stock that you want during the day.
mm-hmm.
For instance, if you're trading SPY call or SPY, you can see where the money's going throughout the day and get a feel for which direction it should go. So I think when we called this FTM earnings, I think we kind of limited our outlook of this app because like I said, you know, you can use this tool during the day to basically look for option volume or basically the amount of money being spent on each side and each strike. So I think that's a little bit more powerful, or I think it's a little bit more useful for everyday trading. So we'll see. It's an interesting earnings season. You know, a little while back, Netflix came into earnings saying, oh yeah, we're going to lose 2 million subscribers, and only lost 1 million. So their stock went up. It's almost like they failed, but they didn't fail as much as they thought they would. We're seeing that with Google as well. Google missed basically on all of their metrics. YouTube missed, Google Cloud Computing missed. They even mentioned companies pulling back on advertising, which is a big component of Google. They also mentioned lowering their hiring outlook for the rest of the year. And that's an interesting thing. You know, last night, Alan texted and said, hey, why wasn't Walmart on the earnings app? And it turned out that Walmart didn't report earnings. They just said that our outlook is a little bit tougher than we originally thought. So they've downgraded. I'm looking for the right word. They've reduced their outlook. I believe they report August 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So we're seeing these, August 16th. So we're seeing these companies that are reducing guidance, saying they're gonna not hire as much. My daughter just watched Stranger Things, the final season, and it's like we're in the upside down world. You know, we're headed to a recession, and I'm not going to get into calling it a recession, if it's a recession, that sort of thing. But what you want to do during these times, or what economists want to do, is to lower rates to get people to borrow, to get people to spend money. And unfortunately, they're, like I mentioned to Alan a little bit ago, they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place because, you know, they've kept rates so low for so long to just pump up the economy. So they're kind of running out of bullets. It'll be interesting. But like I said, it's sort of like an upside down world when Google misses and yet they're up. Um, let's see here. They're up 3.5% in the aftermarket. Um, one thing before I turn over to Alan, to look for tomorrow, because it reports in the morning, is Garmin. Garmin was puts all across the board, every category, their full day, and these are monthlies, their full day, their last 30 minutes, their last 10 minutes. And I believe they're down in aftermarket. Yeah, they're down 2.2%, and yet they don't report till the morning. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Walmart. I thought their pre-announcement got beaten up pretty bad. I think they were down like 9%. But Walmart flatlined today. They basically just didn't move. And I texted Alan last night when we were talking about Walmart and earnings. You know, I thought that move was overblown, and I sort of expected them to rebound today. We'll see if they do tomorrow. But I think that would be one I would watch as well. So yeah, Alan, your thoughts. Played hooky today, didn't you?
Yes.
And today at
home, I had an interesting thing. I had a surgery yesterday, and anybody tells you don't freak you out, it does. It was just a cyst to be removed, but it was probably an hour and a half surgery. But anytime you go under anesthesia, one of my best friends, and he's an anesthesiologist, and I know firsthand how many people that he's lost over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez, I'm like, I never thought that was possible.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of putting your all of your trust in the hands of a few people, and you better, well, you can't really make sure that they're going to do right, but yeah, you kind of have to give up, you know, all your trust and put your faith in their hands, kind of things.
Well, obviously, they have pre-existing conditions, high blood pressure, blood thinners, blood clot. The problem is, which a lot of people don't know, is that a lot of people that do this kind of work is that they have other people do it. So that's just how it works. It's like even the last time I had a surgery about 7 years ago, and I'm like, hey, they just had this fee for one of the doctors, but I was awake before they put me under, and he wasn't even in the room. Well, because he's the physician in hand, or he's the
supervisor,
the supervisor.
Yeah, guy looking over the shoulder.
And anesthesiologists do the same thing, that they have a supervisor has to monitor it, but a lot of times you'll have 3 or 4 cases going at once, and then you'll have people that will be taken care of, like an intern that will do it, or a lot of times they're I forget the term, but they're para anesthesiologists, where they're like underneath them, but they can do anesthesiology, but they're not anesthesists. And I thought that was interesting, because I knew one of those, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know they had those. But needless to say, I was freaking out over it. I was not a happy camper yesterday. I was very happy to be in my trading chair this morning, and not somewhere else.
Did you actually trade in front of a computer, or were you still on your phone?
No, everything was computer today.
Wow.
Scored a $4,000 gain on MMM. I love those ones that I read the reason they're up. M&M 3M is breaking off one of their food divisions and taking it out of the stock. So the stock was up $9 in pre-market. I read that and I said, man, that should be down. It shouldn't be up. I mean, what do you mean? That's like one of their big financial components that drives their earnings. So I let the 5-minute app take me to the 5-minute high. I went short, easy peasy. I didn't panic, stayed with the trade. Thing dropped $7,
Wow.
$7, $8. So how I did it, if I showed you the trade this morning, I took the first trade at the 5-minute, and then when it went below the 5-minute low, I went ahead and bought the other option. So I think it was the 141 puts I bought at the on that 5-minute app. Let me see what that. Yeah, right here. I got my numbers right here. There's my numbers. So how I like to do it, it's kind of simple. It really is. That's how I do it. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping track of the 5-minute high. I mark that down, and then what it is that I will go ahead and on like every couple minutes I'll write where the stock is. 141.47, 141.50, 139.40, 139.52. I'm seeing the progression going down. 139.49, 139.26, 138.98, 138.50, 138.40, 138.70, and I'm looking at the clock. The clock is to me one of the most beneficial parts of the trade. You always get a reversal at 10 o'clock. Not sure why, other than from everything I've seen at the JP Morgan Trading Company in New York City and just how things go on the floor, is that the computers are set at 10 a.m. I don't know how that ever happened, but that's just what happens. At 10 o'clock, there's reversal. I got out to 9:58. I couldn't have nailed it any better. I mean, I got out at 138.40, somewhere in there. And so it was a beautiful trade. And so,
Well,
but,
yeah, that's like
another way to use that 5-minute app.
Yeah, I was gonna say like last Friday when I posted Google, that was 30 minutes after the open. Saw that it never made a higher high after the first or second candle and shorted it from then on. And what you do is you basically put your stop above that and let it ride out. So yeah.
Yeah, that one was amazing. I was a little bummed out. I rarely have a problem on my my stock trading, but that one I was a little rassled on Friday. Very unique situation that I should have done it on an open, like on that ISRG. I've never seen a stock trade go up so fast as that one, I mean, I'm like almost counting the money. I would have been up $2,000 on that, and then it kept moving up, and I knew it was gonna. I knew it was gonna go ahead and as soon as it opened up, it was gonna fly. And I've done the market before and got burned on it. So I hate to do it, but that one I should have done the market because I made a nice profit, but it should have been a lot better. It just, and then, but the problem is that if I didn't have the puts on it or the put on it, I would have went ahead and bought calls at the open because I knew it was going to, you can see if in pre-market, you watch the pre-market, if it goes ahead and let's say it's down $19 and by the time the market opens, it's only like $12 down, you know that thing's going to be a rocket ship up, which is what ISRG was. It's a great stock. It's been in the Dowling Group portfolio for a long time, and they've always been a good stock. It got hit with COVID because people during the surgeries, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But one of the tricks I learned, FFIF was another one, FFIV, I mean,
Yeah.
3M, is that when a stock starts up, is that you use that as a hard stop. It's like a wall, you ain't going through it. And then if it does, then you just get out, but let's say it opens like, 3M, let's say open at 145, give it a minute. And I think it even went up a little bit higher, maybe like a 146. And then, but mark that first 5 minute, it never even got close to coming back to that. And then you put your stop on the other side of that, like 50 cents. That 5 minute app goes good. Now, another thing I've been doing, going back to Brian, I love the earnings app, but we also know there's manipulation going in underneath it. What I found, if you would have went ahead and taken that earnings app and put 3M in it, you would have seen everything coming in was puts. So I've been experimenting with it more and more all the time. But if you go ahead and you could go ahead and go on that app as soon as the market opens, it's going to tell you the puts to calls. I used it the other day, and I know I made $5 grand on it, and it was really a neat trade because I wouldn't have expected it. But what was going on is that I put it in that app, and I'm like, holy cow! Oh, it was U.S. Steel.
Hmm.
And it was like 130 times calls. Wow. And that one right there. So that one was just a beautiful trade because it just was there. It was just like when you got 130 times calls, they're going to manipulate this up.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I learned about the markets, which I love about the whole thing, is do a search in the markets. It's the most fascinating thing going, because when the markets were still in 1900s, 1910, 1920, 1930, they wanted to regulate the New York stock market as a casino, same regulations. Because the thing is that in a sense, it is a casino. The way it works is that for me to make money, someone has to lose money. The 4,000 I made today, someone lost 4,000. So it's just, that's how it works. So it's like playing blackjack, either the house wins or you win. It's just the same concept. But the reason I say that, because there's not a rhyme or reason. They've always tried to figure out, oh, it's 16 times earnings or 15, but no, that doesn't count because that's an energy stock. So no, that's only 8 times earnings. Oh, that's a NASDAQ. Oh no, we do 27 times earnings. It's just whatever you feel like it's worth. And I'm always fascinated. That's what I always liked about the SMAs, is that your 20-day SMA will always tell you what the stock is, what the general market or the general population feels it's worth.
Yeah.
So probably a great example. Bring up Google on Fidelity on the 20-day SMA.
Google.
Now Google right now is at 111.23. That is the most comical thing going. That is
so let's see, 3 months.
Now, disclosure here, I sold my Google calls. And then do it at 3 months. Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
do you see where
105? It's 110.83 right now. So it still has a little bit ways to go. 112.80.
But so how stocks work is that the general public determine at 3 months, this works 100% of the time, don't know why, but it just does, that the stock should be traded at 112.80. And so I would be willing to bet anybody it'll be 112.80 tomorrow.
Well, I mean, yeah, you see it here, we're so far extended, we rise up, down again, we rise back up.
It's pretty close to 111 right now. Oh yeah, I see 110.85.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when it gets to the 112.80 is the big question. Does it have enough to push through it like you saw to the left of it? See how it pushed through it?
Yeah.
So if it does, it's going to jump to 120 tomorrow.
I honestly, everything that they're saying and they're saying, oh, companies are pulling back advertising. We're not hiring as much.
People don't care. It's got
I'm
nothing to do with the stock price.
I'm kind of a pessimist as far as this goes, or the outlook of.
Well, let's go to Toll Brothers. That's a favorite stock of mine. It's good. It's a good company. Let's see what their SMA is.
And they're home builders. 3 months.
Oh, you're on the new app. I hate that thing. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? It switched me back.
I know it's on that thing right there. I know. I can't even believe it. I emailed Fidelity and told them they're screwing it up.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
You see it right there?
Yeah.
So to me, my logic is Toll Brothers should be at 40, but nobody else thinks that way.
Oh, is that where the SMA is?
No, the SMA is at 47.97.
Oh.
I'm just saying, everyone I talk to, I mean, I talk to a lot of people. I'm like, are you getting a house? They're like, I can't afford it.
Oh.
My payment was going to be $2,000. Now it's $4,000. I can't do that. That's what everybody's saying. You got to buy a new house. You got to get an interest rate. 30 years at 5%. It's putting them out of the market.
Yeah, and they were sub 3 a little while ago. So yeah, I can see that. So yeah, home builders, yeah, definitely should be taking a hit.
But they're not. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you can see the power of your SMA right there. This is one of the best tools I've ever seen in my life. Now do 3M. This will tell you where 3M is going to go tomorrow. Now 3M, I almost looked at going back into it, but I don't, when I make a nice profit, I don't like to get back into it because I always give it back. I get cocky. I'm like, oh man, you're so good, Alan. And then I did. That thing is going back down like you won't believe. You got to have 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. That thing's coming back to 130. That's the short of all. I bet you Walmart, look at Walmart. That's probably what happened to Walmart. That determined why Walmart dropped $10. I hope you're learning something on this because it took me years to learn this stuff and what to look for.
$120.
See, it was overextended. Now it overshot it, so it'll go up tomorrow.
Oh, you mean here? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was going to drop anyways. I mean, I had it down as a short anyway because of that. That's one of the few stocks that's actually was above its 20-day SMA on 3 months. One of the few.
Everybody loves Walmart.
Nobody likes Walmart.
Well, okay.
I only go to Walmart unless if I have to. I don't know.
Everybody uses Walmart. Put it that way.
I think a lot of people use it online. I don't think people like to go to the stores. They're just not nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just my opinion. We have a very nice Walmart in our area. I don't know. I mean, I've never shopped at the market at one. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, they have everything. That's what they're unique for.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, one
but
stop shop.
this kind of gives you the reason that this dropped. Now, what's going to happen is to put up Visa. Let's see where Visa is. I was long and short Visa Friday, and I was short MasterCard. Boy, I did really good on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's going to drop. So this gives you an idea where it's going to go. I think they're going to do another 3/4 point increase, and all hell's going to break loose this week. But you know, and then they happen to be doing it at the absolute wrong time, which is at the end of the month. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, so you know, and they're going to blame it on um, it was too aggressive of the Fed, and it's all going to go down. Which one's that one? Oh, GRMN.
GRMN, the one that reports tomorrow morning.
You know, I would not be surprised that goes up. If I looked at that chart, I'd say it's going to bounce off of that 101 and go up. You bring up the 1 year on that. I'm kind of interested in it. GRMN is one of the ones I used to play religiously. It goes up on earnings every time. Yeah, all those spikes are earnings usually. Well, that's really taking a dive. 175 down to 100. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50,
You
60.
gotta love that. Down 32% for the year.
Yikes.
So. Hey, Brian, I'm gonna go. I think we had a couple good things you learned about the SMA. Don't be afraid to get the earnings app. The earnings app, to me right now, is more powerful when you put an individual stock in there, and it will tell you what they're buying at the real time. That to me is the most beneficial part of it right now.
Right.
I've been trying to tweak the earnings app to make it more worthwhile and more consistent. My experience is if you can't get 80% on a trade for earnings, then don't take the trade. So if you go back to those that followed me a long time ago, I've been doing this for a long time, that I would only take something. My rule was, I think it was 6 times earnings on puts. No, I was 6 times earnings on calls, 3 times on puts. Because basically you've got to have a huge amount of people buying calls to make a stock go up. If it's not 6 times calls, don't even get into the trade, and puts, don't get into it unless it's over 3 times puts. So
yeah.
that's
Yeah, but using the earnings app for individual stocks, basically what you're doing is you're following the money, which is the whole premise on our Facebook group.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to do it in the morning. I used it this morning with 3M, and I was really surprised because there was no surprise it dropped because they were buying the puts right off the bat. So that's what I found. But I like those where they get an upgrade or it goes up on something like that, because you know that people are going to take profits. You know, $10 up, I'll take my money, and then it almost. I expected to drop 50%. Is kind of where I'm at. It was up $9. I expected it to go down to $4. And then it reverses, but basically it did it right to the classic today. So excellent,
yeah,
Brian. Well, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad everybody's back from Alaska.
That's right. Yeah, back to somewhat normal.
Yeah, excellent. And you said your daughter's got a graduation party or birthday this weekend?
Yeah, her birthday. That's right. I forgot to mention the party.
Oh, well, geez, you could have brought your daughter.
Well, I did kind of offer the whole family to go out there.
Oh, what'd they say?
We kind of rely on traditions, and our tradition for her birthday is so it's about an hour and a half away, but there's this authentic pizza place in Sheboygan, which is, like I said, an hour and a half away. And for those of you that don't know, there's actually a committee in Italy that sets standards for pizzas. And if you meet these standards, they go down to like what kind of flour to use, what kind of tomatoes to use. You have to have a wood-fired oven. So it's a true, authentic Italian pizza, basically. And there's maybe 70 of these restaurants throughout the US kind of thing. And like I said, we're fortunate to have one. So we're kind of like a traditional, that's what we do on Emma's birthday kind of thing, which is,
So we drive an hour and a half.
drive an hour and a half, go get pizza and then drive back.
Or should I say we drive 3 hours round trip? That's how I look at everything.
Right, yeah. But yeah, these pizzas are, I think it's like, they're called BPN. They're Napoleon type of pizzas, basically. So true, authentic Italian. So yeah, like I said, that's our tradition. Yeah, I was texting with, or Facebook messaging with Darren, or post with Darren saying, both of us aren't going to be there. And maybe we should just postpone your party.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, that was the best. It's good. I'm going to be able to. I'll be traveling to New England in September. So
yeah, my wife loves Vermont out there.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm gonna let you. Yeah.
Okey doke.
Well, I'll let you go because we're kind of low on that bandwidth. So have a good one.
Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Okay. All right. Bye now.